For Efilism, death is good for the one who dies, and most of the times it's an overall good considering those on which you impact with your existence as well. That goes for humans as well as the other animals. They find it easier to say it clearly when talking about non-human animals, for obvious reasons, but they think that killing any sentient beings is fundamentally permissible and even a duty from an ethical point of view, except when such act would create more bad consequences in the long run, like by ruining the reputation of Efilism or anything and anyone they want to use to achieve their goal. Among the Efilists, there is no shortage of appreciation for death. Statements such as death is not a tragedy, statements about certain categories of people, like those in mental institutes and jail, who should be, quote, put out of their misery, or that climate change and corona pandemic should kill as many as possible, and that both the rich and the poor should be, quote, hit with a 2x4 along with pregnant women. They are quite frequent among the Efilists, and incitements and questions about how to kill healthy domestic animals are also quite frequent, be they feral animals in precarious conditions, as well as healthy animals capable of leading a life free of particular risks, such as those kept in shelters or sanctuaries, or even pets who have been already adopted, whose family, according to the Ephilists, would have a moral duty to kill them immediately, although they themselves sometimes claim not to kill their pets because of the emotional bond with them, yet they call it a selfish choice. So for the Ephilist, sterilizing pets is not enough. It is necessary to kill them in order not to waste economic or resources that could be better spent elsewhere, and in order to prevent any future suffering for the animals themselves, or as they would say, in order not to waste suffering. I think killing is a serious imposition. It is always morally problematic and very rarely justified. In any case, the interest or desire to continue existing is part of consciousness itself. Existence implies an unavoidable, intimate, and irrational desire to continue existing. Even when you don't know that you can die, you are conditioned into wanting your experience to carry on. There are cases when it's justified to impose death, but no such kind of imposition should be made recklessly. And before deciding to impose anything of that kind, one must consider and prefer every possible alternative. I have been talking about this in one of my previous videos, and I will link it in the description down below. There have been Ephilists advocating suicide. There have been many Ephilists who said things like they look forward to the peace of non-existence, or death is glorious, being dead is better than being alive, the earlier your demise the safer it is for you, and that there are quite a few great reasons to kill yourself. I think suicide is a moral right, with maybe a few exceptions like that of parents. I do think that everyone should have the right to proper assisted medical suicide, regardless of the conditions and the motivations. Suicide should not be a taboo, but saying that it's only a good thing, as the Ephilists do, and saying that it's not a big deal, especially in our society without medical assistance, is just false, it's delusive, and I think it's very irresponsible. When considering the state of non-existence before and after coming into existence, there are very important differences that should not be ignored. Before coming into existence, there is nobody there who would be deprived of anything by not coming into existence. Contrarily to never existing, death deprives particular individuals of the good things in life and of their existence itself. Atheists use words like euthanasia or mercy killing instead of just killing, but that is so misleading. Euthanasia means good death, and it's used when talking about the imposition of death. So it is used to indicate cases when killing is considered to be good. It is a term that is normally used in those exceptional cases, but imposing death is not always justified. It's not always in the best interest of the one killed. Euthanasia or mercy killing, or whatever you want to call it, is a good word when the individuals are in agony, when they are in extreme pain, or when they are about to experience it and they are about to die, or when the rest of their lives is going to be very miserable and full of very serious suffering. And only when they are incapable of deciding for themselves, meaning that they are unconscious or unable to express their consent or unable to understand the option of dying. If pro-mortalism is the view that ceasing to exist is in itself always good for the one who dies, then I have to agree with pro-mortalism. Not because there is more bad than good in everyone's lives, I don't think that's the case. And by the way, I'm not sure how that could be measured and if it would be even a reason to be pro-mortalist. I agree with death being always good because of the prevention of risks, which even when extremely unlikely, they always entail extreme suffering as a possibility, which is so important to prevent. But that doesn't mean that you have to kill yourself, that suicide should be advocated for. And I do not think, especially, that pro-mortalism is a justification for imposing death. It should never be used as an excuse to justify killing. This Efilism's pro-death rhetoric is very irresponsible and dangerous.